Hello, good day, and New Year's resolutions. Hey, my name is Reyna. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. I'm a yoga teacher. I do healing, lifestyle, wellness-ish content. I don't know, I'm still kind of identifying what that actually means to me, or maybe what it means to you. If you have any niche names, what is my niche? Qualifications. I'm in my 30s. I've read just so many self-help books, go to a lot of therapy. I have a master's degree in management and leadership, and I care a lot. Today we're talking about New Year's and my approach to the resolution, the kind of New Year's vibe, because I love New Year's. It's truly one of my favorite times of year. I just love the kind of global energy of hope. I think hope is really special and I think it needs to be cherished. About 6 years ago, I stopped doing resolutions because I found that every year I would make this long list of habits and goals and things I wanted to accomplish. I believe I often got overwhelmed, and a lot of it was really externally focused, mostly on my body, how I wanted that to change. You know, and I think a lot of people can relate to that probably. It's been an evolution. I'm sure it will continue to evolve. But at first, I tried to scale down. 3 goals or 3 resolutions. Here's how I'm gonna get there. Helped a little bit. But honestly, the biggest shift for me was going from resolutions, goal-focused things, to life cultivation, and to really specific and simple intention setting. I think taking time first to reflect on this past year, reflecting on your wins, reflecting on maybe some of your losses, the moments where you felt human. I like to do this by kind of just going back through the year, like starting with January. And I'll often do this with my partner, and we will just recap what was going on in January. Where were we? What were some highlights? Can we remember them without looking back at our phone? Can we just have this kind of conversation where we reflect and remember? And it's kind of like, you know, like when you go to a party, you get absolutely shit-faced, and then the next day you wake up and you and all your friends are just like sitting in like a trashed room, just recapping the evening, who did what, this person, all of that. That's the vibe. Take in the year. Remember that even the low moments, even the losses, they're not bad. They're information. They're things that happened. They're moments that contributed to who you are right now. All of these things deserve to be celebrated in a way where it's like, you are here. You have made it to this point. You've probably done a pretty damn good job. Reflecting gives us a great foundation for where we are and where we'd like to see ourselves going within this next year. So once you've taken some time to reflect, now I have an HR bachelor's and a master's in management and leadership. Something that I did through both of my degrees really often, and something my therapist recommended to me, is to make a mission statement for your life. Identify your core values, what you hold most near, most dear. I think we often get really stuck in the values that society projects onto us. And it's not that necessarily we value those things, but sometimes, for me at least, it's really hard to see past those things. And so, do you value your appearance? Okay. What does that actually mean? So much more specificity that we can offer ourselves in identifying our core values. Because once we can identify our values, we can start to really understand what kind of life we want, how we want our lives to look, living our lives in alignment with our values. I also like to scan down my senses. What are my values and what do they look like when they're lived? What do they sound like? What do they taste like? What do they smell like? What do they feel like, both physically and emotionally? And getting into these senses, because that's a huge way that's how we experience the world. And I think this, for me, like just as a really simple example, I value compassion towards myself and towards others. If I look at it in the senses, if I come to taste, you know, I see myself really scaling back the amount of animal products I eat. I've previously been vegan, I was vegetarian, and before it was kind of a problematic, more disordered way of approaching those eating habits. And now I can take that step, and I know I'm in a good place with myself to say, like, you know, I'm not eating in a way that aligns with my values, and I'd like to remedy that, and I'm in a good place to do so. And as you identify those things, you're going to start to see behaviors come up. So just using this food example for me, okay, I want to eat less meat. I want to eat more plant-based. What does that look like for me? Like, how do I make that happen? Am I eating more tofu? Am I eating more sweet potatoes? Am I buying more ethically sourced meat? Do I have the funds to do that? Acknowledging like, okay, I'm identifying these things and behaviors are coming up, knowing that you don't have to accept or take on every behavior change or habit change that comes up right now, but allowing yourself to see what's manageable and incorporate them either into your life, or you can do what I'm doing, seeing how I can take some of the behaviors that I've identified from there and put them into morning routines, into evening routines. I really value quietude. I value self-inquiry. How can my morning routine align with my values? What does that look like? Is it taking more time to read my spiritual texts, have a breathwork practice in the morning? And I find that putting these things into a morning routine or an afternoon routine or a weekend routine. And I use routine, but honestly for me, it's definitely more ritual. And I have kind of a video on that. I can tag it. I'll put it here. I feel like the difference between routine and ritual for me is routine feels mechanical. It's the things that we do to kind of keep ourselves even, and ritual is intentional. It has substance to it, in my opinion, in a way that routine does not. And so these morning rituals, these evening rituals are a collection of behaviors, and there might be a few different behaviors that I kind of pick and choose in order to cultivate a life that feels good for me and that aligns with my values and that is enjoyable. Now, all of this to say, I still set goals. I see goals as a more tactical, mechanical device. And so I apply them to those areas in my life that I feel are more tactical and mechanical. I want to make more money at work. I'm going to set a SMART goal: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So I'm going to say I want to make 30% more revenue for my business than I did last year. How am I going to measure this? Maybe every 3 months, I talk with my accountant. We do a kind of financial thing. Do I think it's even achievable? Like considering like, is this realistic for me to complete within this year? Or do I need to maybe extend this into like a 2-year thing? Again, like achievable, realistic, like and timely, setting a date, setting check-in dates. With these SMART goals, realistically, you're going to need to have mini goals within them. And so if this is of interest to you, taking that time to set a plan, to be intentional, to create steps to get you to where you want to go. These are tactical things. They are very like earthly things, but they also add to my value system, but they're less a daily behavior. They're less a weekly behavior. I use intention setting as my kind of more overall approach to my life, and goal setting as a device to really access and obtain specific things. The last 2 things that I think are really important, if you really, really want something, if you want to pick a focus for the year, I suggest writing it down daily. In 2018, that was the year I decided I wanted to get my yoga teacher certification. I was lat fucking broke. I was living in Tennessee. I had truly no idea how it was gonna happen, but I knew I needed to make it happen that year. And every single morning, I wrote down an affirmation. And like, there's a lot of opinions on affirmations. You're supposed to write in the affirmative, like, I am a yoga teacher, whatever it is. I didn't do that at the time. I literally just wrote, I will be a yoga teacher by the end of 2018, or like by the end of this year. And I did it because it reminded me daily what I was doing. And that was kind of my like sole focus for that year. Write that shit down. Remind yourself daily. You can have a few. If you want to do them more in the affirmative, do them more in the affirmative. Choice is yours. And I think finally, reminding yourself of a few things, or I'm here to remind you, I guess, of a few things. One, consistency really is key, I think, with anything. So finding ways to really bring whatever behaviors or focuses or intentions that you want to cultivate in your life into your life daily. Little segue, I'm doing a January consistency kind of challenge. I don't like that word necessarily, but I don't really know what else to call it. I'll be posting it later this week, but it is a 31-day movement, breathwork challenge, if you will. But more than anything, it's about building a daily habit of coming to your mat, exploring your body, your breath, your mind. Everything will be less than 10 minutes. It's every day. We'll have a different theme. So for example, every Sunday will be like a soft class. Every Monday we'll do a little bit of mobility. Keep an eye out for that. I'm really excited about it. It's gonna be great. Lastly, consistency, yes, but flexibility. I think any kind of growth invites us to be flexible, to explore deeply within, and to seek a deeper connection connection and understanding with ourselves. And if we're really, really focused on one path, this is the way we have to do it, this is the end goal, we might miss out on all the scenery, all the other trails, all the other places to explore, the beauty to see. And the cool thing about that is that's all within us. So I really invite you this year to give yourself space to explore many pathways with your goals, with your focuses, with your intentions, to find the beauty in the moments that you trip and fall, moments that something may stumble across your path that you weren't expecting. And I hope you have a beautiful, safe, happy, healthy, fucking awesome new year. Thank you for being here. Goodbye.